Hello, everyone, and welcome to Out of Combat. It is the show after the show. We have just finished episode 52 of Casters and Cantrips Campaign 2, where you done messed up. VS.
Did we though? Did we?
No, not really.
I did. Oh, dang it.
No, not necessarily. just a little lockpicking problem.
Don't we have like an expert lockpick, Hayden? What?
I rolled a 19. I did my job.
Wow.
Valid.
Sorry.
Throwing Cooter under the bus.
Listen, I think bad dice rolls make for a better story, you know? And I think that, I don't know, that's part of it. Like, if the campaign was like, nat 20, 19, 18 every single time, cool, you know? But like, it's the ones and the twos that tell the story.
Yeah. I am glad you said that, because I agree 100%. Just because, like, it's not fun if you win all the time at everything that you do.
Yeah.
There has to be some adversity, some conflict. Otherwise, what are you even playing?
And it makes it all the more satisfying when those big numbers do happen.
Yeah.
It's like that more impactful.
You're like, finally a 20. Hell yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me why Marlin is both of your new favorite characters now. I'm just kidding.
It's your voice, dude.
I'm just kidding.
For anyone who maybe just might be tuning into the after show and didn't hear the full episode, can you do a Marlin voice?
Odd. What did he say? Firebolt! That's Marlin. And I had no idea what Marlin sounded like. I just had a list of people that worked on that ship and some rough notes. So that one came off the cuff.
It's the idea of like a wizard that boldly announces everything he's about to do is great.
It's kind of giving that like bard from The Witcher, you know, that's like kind of extra.
Dandelion.
That's his name.
Yaskier, Dandelion.
Yeah, I love it.
I guess in my thought process of kind of trying to rapidly process what's going on. Oh, there's these few people that are standing watch. Who are some people on the ship? Oh, this person's this. It's just like, well, everything you guys know about the Cove and Pirates is that they like magic users because they're outcasts and they're very useful, which would mean like a deck wizard, like they're hot shit. And there's probably someone who also thinks that they're hot shit and is not afraid to tell everyone and like boss people around, right? Because like they're very coveted for ships. Anyone who has like a wizard on the ship is going to be better off. So I was just like, someone's got to be an obnoxious asshole, and I guess that's you, Marlin.
I love it. No, it's good. It's perfect. It's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like coming up with voices on the spot. I always tell, anytime I'm out like IRL and we're talking about like D&D and stuff, I'm like, dude, my DM is the best. Every NPC has a voice. Like where I feel like a lot of DMs, they'll just like, oh yeah, here's the NPC. They'll talk normally. They don't really like play into it, but it's your extra layer of giving everybody a voice, which like really draws us into every scene, at least for me.
Yeah. Voice work, and then also adding like character quirks that you don't have to. Makes it fun.
That's the secret sauce. Is it's more than just an accent. Right. It's got to be like, if even just like one quirk or a mannerism or a personality, you know, even if you know, like the only thing I need to do is like this, or the only thing I know is a stereotypical fantasy British accent, right? You can still do that and just give people different mannerisms that can take you so far. Because I promise I don't have like I don't have like a Rolodex of 30 accents that I do. It's just all the same one with little knobs turned and tweaked just to make them different enough. So, but yeah,
no, it's perfect.
I don't know if you all caught, like I had to catch myself laughing a couple times at just some of the absurdity of the NPCs today.
Yeah, like the drunk one.
Yeah.
I think the part that pulled me into it the most was the hiccup that you did.
Oh.
I was like, wait, did he actually hiccup or is he like drunk hiccup? Like, what is happening? This is so good.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to really like, especially doing like fantasy stuff and like watching through a screen, or even just people that are listening on the podcast.
Sure.
You've got to turn it all up, which you all know. You got to turn it up extra so it kind of gets through. I don't know why, and I know that I laughed at this when I was saying it. Was whenever I was like, "What's your name?" He said Azric, and I was like, "Aslick." That's what he was calling him the whole time. I almost didn't get that one out because I was laughing at my own stupid joke.
No, it's good. It's fun.
I'm a little disappointed that the plan changed, because I would have loved to hear Mac's rendition or Taj's rendition of what Marlin sounds like.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do it, and then last second, Azric was like, "Put all of that aside. This is a separate thing." I just wanted for some clarification. In DMs, we have like a group chat DMs. I kept hearing like, Mac's gonna do this, Mac's gonna do this, and I just like typed, "What's the plan? What am I doing?" Like, I just want to know what I'm doing so I know the goal of that I'm trying to achieve, essentially. And I was like, I'm just confused, you know. Mm-hmm. And then someone was like, "Well, we need to discredit Mira," and that's where I think everything kind of fell apart, because it was like, okay, well, how is Merlin discrediting Mira? It's not Mira acting out and doing something, it's Merlin, which like,
yeah,
you know, and that's where I think things went awry. Had we had time to like talk about how Merlin would do it, but like I already have ideas for what we could do. Like I could be Merlin in a bar talking about how we did this whole thing with the Conservancy and like sunk the ship, and like I could just be like drunkenly like spilling secrets.
Yeah.
In the bar, you know.
Yeah, you still got that. Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think we were on the same wavelength, Mac, because I was like, this doesn't, it ties back to Mira, but like, she could very easily just say, I don't know what he was doing. Like, yeah, like, put him in jail. I don't care. Like, he's the deck wizard, but like, literally, she's going to save herself.
If Mira is anything like Blackbeak in like badassery level, she could easily just be like, whatever, dude, like, you're off my ship, fuck you, you know. So I didn't want there to be any way the plan could fail, essentially.
Yeah, and I think like from a player perspective, if I'm putting like my player hat on, probably easier for you all to do like the one at a time thing too. Less chance for like things to go wrong. But that's when things get fun, when things go wrong. But like you were saying, you still got that you know, Marlin information in your back pocket that you can use later on anyway. So it's not like you just don't get to use the info. It's still good.
Like, I still think that's like an idea we can use going forward, Mac. Is like you impersonate him in a bar. Like 100%. We still have that thing to do. So that's still very much in play.
And we can do like the Mira situation several ways. Like, we can forge a letter or a piece of paper or like a couple of notes, you know, that Mira was planning to do something. Like, you know, like there's several things that we can do that don't involve like just one plan, you know, to make sure that like, well, if one thing goes awry, here's the other two things that we've set up to discredit her as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part is like we have a whole checklist of things that need to get done. And it is really easy as players to be like, okay, well, how can we combine all this to make it faster and move it along? But But I think when you like take a step back and be like, okay, let's look at this one at a time, there's less error that can happen because for us as players, there's a lot of stakes with the person we're in business with. So it could be our lives. It could be a lot of things. Like we don't really know what Blackbeak is fully capable of. Like we know that she'll go to any lengths to get what she wants. And so, yeah, because I was talking to Moobs. We were both at TwitchCon together. And I was like, what if we didn't do this Blackbeak thing? And then he was like, she'd probably kill us. And I was like, but we owe her money. And he's like, but it's her ship. So she'll just take it. And then boom, money not owed anymore, you know? And so I was like, yeah, okay, you're not wrong. Because in my mind, I was like, us owing her is keeping us alive, you know?
And even if like we didn't outright get killed by her and we were on the run, we'd be on the run from somebody that has a pirate armada. So
yeah,
that'd be just another wrinkle we'd have to deal with.
So many wrinkles, so little time, so little fabric softener.
I will say, we're doing very well. We're on pace to do 4 out of 5, assuming this thing we're on right now goes well. We've knocked out 3 of the 5.
Why did you smile, Max?
Just he's like hedging his bets. Like I think it'll be okay. I'm just laughing at how he's putting it.
I don't know if you know something in your mind that we don't know.
I'm covering my bases here. I'm not going to assume anything.
I just have a really cool map that I worked really hard on to make sure it all works for next time.
So there's going to be a fight.
It'll be fun.
And there's going to be
not
cannons.
Necessarily.
Hey, we can do this unseen and without conflict if we roll good.
Cooter needs to roll good.
As of right now, they heard metal break, and we can only assume they don't know what had happened yet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you don't know the level of which is any suspicion is raised. You know? But it'll be interesting next time.
And I'm not gonna be there.
Depends on how many people can make it for next time too. So you might, maybe not. But yeah, I will say, even though with this one, like you guys still got one of the things done. Like we said, you're 3 out of 5 with Captain Lyra and just basically intimidating her. And I will say, I like you pulling in some of your background stuff, Mac. I like looking at that because it's so rare for a player to use like their background feature. Like,
it is, yeah.
Like people like forget about that stuff because it's like almost never comes up. And I was reading through it, and I was like, "Oh, you can use it to do this thing." And I was like, "Well, is it specific to this?" And I was just like, my brain was just like, just let her fucking do it because like it'll probably never come up again. Like, like she has this thing, it's there. Like, just go. That's why I was just like, you forge it, cool. It's your whole background.
Thank you for that. Yeah, because I took. So for anyone that doesn't know, I took the background as a charlatan. And the feature is false identity. So I, with that, get like a forgery kit and a disguise kit and all the stuff. So I've been using the disguise kit a ton. But I have yet to use the forgery kit. I don't think I might have used it one other time to write something on a desk or some sorts. But I there's one other piece of this. Don't look it up for any players that are actually here, or if you already know, but there's another piece I've kept quiet about. So I'm excited to maybe eventually use that if it ever comes up. I don't know. Maybe it will for the memes, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think that the part in that specific background, let me pull it up real quick of what the wording was on the part specific that you mentioned. What was was the line that I was just like, oh, well, that makes total sense. It said like official papers. And I
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
yeah. So it says, additionally, you can forge documents, including official papers and personal letters, as long as you have seen
Yeah.
an example of what the kind of document or the handwriting you're trying to copy.
yeah. And I was just like, well, that's a pretty official paper. It's an investigation. Sure. Why not?
Gotti.
Yeah. I
No, very cool.
I did like VS your chime in to kind of put the fear into Captain Lyra too, as Hayden, when you went and talked to her to kind of sway her over to that, which helped with the forged papers, and you stepping in got the advantage against her.
I mean, I wasn't going to chime in until you made the mention that she looks around at the other officers, and I was like, okay, she's looking from something for us. So I'm going to step in and double down on what Azric's trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Big question for each of you as players. What do you think is going to happen if Blackbeak gets voted into the Captain's Congress?
I don't know, because I don't know why she wants it, you know? Like, she seems really busy, so I don't know. I don't know why it benefits her, you know? I guess as like a player and as like a listener, can you just state kind of what the Captain's Congress is and
Yeah.
what they do?
Blackrend Cove is basically the pirate island. The pirates, all of them collectively, are called the Patronage. So if you're a pirate and you go to this island, you're part of the Patronage. The Patronage has a very loose set of a government of sorts that kind of handle top level pirate business. And they're known as the Captain's Congress. And there are typically 6 of them. And there's a vacancy open right now. So the Captain's Congress are captains that are voted in that handle the top level strategy and business of all of the pirates that they have to abide under.
Yeah, I don't know why that benefits her.
So from what we've experienced, Blackbeak is power hungry. So much so that through just kind of brute force and strategy, she's able to like force other pirates to bend to her, and enough that she has her own little fleet. So I see it as maybe she thinks like this will extend her power and influence further. She'll be able to maybe convince even more pirates to fall under her, whatever her plans are, whether she's like just doing it to have control of the entire sea for herself, or maybe she's going to make a play against the Conservancy. I don't know. But I just see it as like it's like another step for her gaining more power, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it.
Maybe like set rules that help her in what she wants, or control over people.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, like, from what we've heard, she had no interest in it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, why now?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Last question that I'm curious to know what you think. What do you think happened to Captain Orion in the Star Strider?
That's the sunken ship.
Mm-hmm. The reason why there's a vacancy.
It's the one that was sabotaged.
Oh, it was probably Captain Blackbeak. Or someone doing something for them.
Yeah, that's a pretty good possibility. And
Like,
it seems like nobody lived to tell the tale, so truth will not
we
get
know
out
of.
that we know of. So whatever the truth is not coming out anytime soon.
I think part of it too is like out of nowhere she wants the seat. Out of nowhere someone dies. Like she'll go at any lengths. Like it was probably her crew or someone that she ordered to make it look like an accident. Like very much what we're doing now, so that you can't be tied back to her, but it was probably definitely her.
Yeah, she could have like paid someone off on that crew to sabotage the ship and then
Sure.
dealt with them afterwards or something. No loose ends.
Yeah, I mean,
We
you
know
know, yeah, you know, Blackbeak is brutal in the dealings that you've had with her. So interesting. It's lots of little threads that are kind of coming together.
I'd be interested to see if any of the stuff like me and Azric were saying to Lyra actually hold water. Like, could there be conservancy influence within Pirate Cove? That's like, that would be a huge issue for everybody there. If there was like people kind of like pulling at strings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
That would be disastrous. But
disastrous. Woof.
I mean, yeah, it would. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out what happens. So we'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.